We're learning to Nishmas Etta Ahuva B'Asyakim Maseches Kidushin Perek Gimel Mishna Yod. Ha'omer li'isha kidashticha. If a person tells a woman, "I was mekadesh you," v'hi omeres loy kidashtani, she denies it and says, "You were not mekadesh me." So the halacha over here is shavye anafshe chaticha di'isura. This is a makar of shavye anafshe chaticha di'isura, which means that if you say something is aser on you, so it becomes in fact aser. Who aser b'kreveseh, and therefore he is not allowed to marry any of her relatives. So like her sister is aser now because of achos isha, but vihi mutares b'kreveh, because she denies that she's married to him, so she is allowed to marry his relatives. The other way around, he oimeres kidashani, if she's the one that says there was a kedushin, v'hu oimer lo kidashicha, and he denies it, so then hu mutar b'kreveseh, he's allowed to marry her relatives. Vihi asura b'krevav, but she has shavya nafshe chaticha di'isura, and therefore she's not allowed to marry his relatives. The Gemara says that even now that she's going to be aser l'kuli alma, because she's saying that she's an eshes ish to him, so Amar Shmuel mevakshim mimenu litin get, we ask from him that he should give her a get. Rav adds that if he gave the get from himself, meaning that we didn't even ask him to give a get, and he went ahead and we see that he gives her a get, so then that shows that he agrees to the Kidushin. He agrees there was a Kidushin, and now we'll be kaifin oisai litin ksuva, we'll force him to give a ksuva, and this Gemara is going that an arusa gets a ksuva, because over here is only, erisin is only Kidushin, and yet we say that he would have to give her a ksuva. Kidashticha v'hi oimeres lo kidashta ella biti. He says, I was mekadesh you, and she agrees there was a kedushin, but it wasn't to me, it was to my daughter. So who aser b'krev is gedola? He is aser with the mother. The gedola mutares b'krevav. The mother says there was no kedushin, so she's allowed to marry his relative. Who mutar b'krev is ketana? He's allowed to marry the relatives of the daughter, because he's not saying he was mekadesh the daughter, he's saying he was mekadesh the mother. The ketana mutares b'krevav, and the daughter is allowed to marry his relatives as well. The chiddush of this Mishnah is that the mother is not believed on her daughter to say that her daughter was mekudesh, even though we learned in a prior Mishnah that a father is neman, that he was mekadesh his daughter, but a mother is not believed that her daughter had kedushin. Mishnah Yud Aleph is the Gemara says is pasha. We just say it agav the other case. Kidashi is bitcha. Over here he's saying I was mekadesh your daughter. And she says it was me. So pasha hu aser b'krevis ketana. He's not allowed to marry relatives of the daughter because he says he was mekadesh the daughter. Ketana muteres b'kreva, but the daughter is allowed to marry his relatives. Hu muter b'krevis gedel. He's allowed to marry the mother's relatives because he's not saying he was mekadesh the mother. He's saying he was mekadesh the daughter. But gedela, the mother, is asur b'kreva because she's saying that she was mekadesh to him.